Hello, beautiful people. Ah, boba. How are all of you doing today? Chat, we have returned. Oh! How are you all doing today? What is up? Alright, what happened? I took a few days off because I was feeling incredibly tired. To the point of, like, yeah. Did your beard grow longer? I usually wear darker shirts. I don't have a lot of light shirts. Or actually, more specifically, my light shirts were like at the bottom of the pile. And every time I just kept rewatching my clothes, I would just put them back on top of the pile, so I just kept wearing the dark clothes because they were on top of the pile. But I finally got around to organizing things, so now the bottom of the pile's not at the bottom of the pile anymore. How are y'all doing today? I think the few days off really did me a lot of good. I'm guessing you watched 12 anime. I didn't watch that many because what I watched had a lot of episodes. I watched all 3 seasons of Welcome to Demon School Irumakun, and honestly, I thought it was actually kind of good. Like, for what it is, I thought it was actually kind of good. Thank you for the 38 months, Heze. Hog. And because I liked it, I ended up reading the manga. So I read all of it. I watched all 5 seasons of Bungo Stray Dogs. And I watched a lot of other stuff, but I forgot about it. In just 3 days? Yeah. In just 3 days. Did you enjoy Bimbo Slay Pogs? That's a great name for it. Honestly, I was disappointed. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was disappointed. Okay? I thought it was fine, but like I expected better. Like, it makes sense, right? I expected better from the fact that it has really high scores on my anime list, but then I realized, oh yeah, they're doing the separating different seasons as different shows cheat. Because no one's gonna go rate something they haven't seen, and no one's gonna watch the 5th season of a show they don't like. So, like, obviously the 5th season's gonna have really high scores, because the only people that watch it are people that liked the first 4 seasons to begin with. And so you're getting some confirmation bias that makes your score go way higher than it's supposed to. What would be your rating? I think across the board I'd give it a 7. The season that focuses on the beginning, I don't remember if it's 3 or 4. I think it's 4, but I'm not sure, because I watched them all so quickly that I don't know which one is which. But the one that focuses on the beginning of the agency, I would give an 8. The other one's a 7. It's not a bad show, but I was expecting better. So I was a bit disappointed. Still hasn't watched Grand Blue. Isn't that the one with the really slutty characters? Or is that just the game? No, it's a diving anime? Wait, what am I thinking about then? I don't know what I'm... You're thinking of Grand Blue Fan... Wait, that's not the same thing? wait, what? wait, what's the... wait, what? I'm sorry, what? What do you mean by that? I'm confused. No, that's Grand Blue, not Grand Blue. That's not helpful! You're about to be not proud of me when I tell you that I actually forgot to take a doctor's appointment. I'll do it today. Dude, it's cause like when I feel like ass, I feel like I'm too tired to actually make an appointment. And when I feel good, I don't need an appointment because I feel good. But like I know what I'm supposed to do. I just, man, you know? You know? You sound like my grandma? Yeah, that, sure, I guess. Is it really under? No, there's no way it's under. It's just that, yeah, okay.
Gather!
Chat, would I get crucified if I said that Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun is probably my favorite ongoing shonen? Would that be a hot take? Yes, burning hot? I see. Yes, because Hajime no Ippo okay, one, Hajime no Ippo is like really borderline to qualify as a shonen. Two, I don't think you can really call it ongoing. Considering the current ongoing shonen, I don't think so personally. Yeah, like really, what's good right now? Jujutsu, I said good. Not mid. Sorry. Sorry, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. What do you like / dislike about Frieren? I mean, I think just as a general rule, the way they do their characters, the characters are very tropey, right? Like they're not original, but they're very well developed. Like they feel they don't feel like what's the word? They feel multifaceted.
Adventure time.
In a way that plays into the trope without being defined by them. Alright, chat. I gotta figure out what I'm spending my resin on. I haven't spent my resin in like 4 days. Community pre-farm? Is she not out yet? 5 days. Okay. Eh. What are the Milani changes? Is the changes from a couple days ago that I haven't covered because I haven't streamed since they've been announced?
Gather.
Overruled.
I'm surprised Kenichi ended up getting buffed. I'm not that surprised. I think the way I'm looking at it is... Actually, I don't know if I'm surprised. Maybe I am surprised. I don't know. Are your Diona and Barbara ready for theater? Bro, they could be level fucking 70 out of 8. Like, 70 out of 70, literally no gear. Wait, actually, no. Well, it's fine. You can just use a trial one, no?
Assemble.
That's all you gotta do. Just realized my Barbara's not level 70. I don't want to level her, though. Yeah, I'll just use the trial ones. Who cares? Trial isn't on TDDS? That's funny. I don't think it matters, though.
Overruled.
You seen the second half 4-star and weapon banner? Has it been announced? Or is it just leaks? But no, I haven't seen them. Today? Oh, it's been announced? Okay, I'll go take a look at it.
The wind knows me.
Are we doing Imaginarium Theater today? We might. We'll see.
Add Astra.
Shut the fuck up, Dodge. Maybe I should have logged in to do my commissions. Who cares? Who cares?
Add Astra.
I actually don't think I really sat down at my computer to do anything in the past 3 days. I was on my laptop only. Probably would have been a good time to do my Windows updates, huh? Fuck. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Everything is fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right, let me look at the banners.
Osmanthus wine tastes the
Osmanthus
same
wine
as I
tastes the
remember.
same as I. Oh, fuck. Wow. This is one of the best weapon banners we've had. Was that Catalyst? I don't remember what it's called. It's the one that gives you attack and your team attack based on your EM. No, but... Okay, if you are going for Emily, this is one of the best weapon banners we've ever had. Because if you're going for Emily, that means her signature weapon is going to be useful for you. And because her signature is so strong on her, and because Aqua is such a good stat stick, and because the 4-star lineup is significantly above average, this is pretty much as good as it gets. Like, there's not many 5-star secondary weapons that you would rather have over Aqua here. Like, which ones? Maybe Mist Splitter, but like, meh. Maybe Homa, but meh. Elegy, maybe, yeah. But like, Aqua's up there. Alright, this is interesting. We'll record a video on the weapon banner. What's that? Did they patch out N2W? Is this what this means? No? Okay. Well, I don't care then. Hmm. What is the name of the Leo song you sometimes play on piano? I want to try it out, but I can't find the song. I play the one I was learning was a medley. So pretty sure it's the first result if you look up Leo medley Muse score. Yeah, it's this one. Here it is. I have sent it in chat. Okay, chat. We have a few things we need to watch. First off, the immediate character demo.
Kitty, Kitty, where are you? Worry, confusion,
My flowers aren't.
anxiety.
How come my plant is dying already?
All these emotions are like the aroma of a long night of endless rain. But add a drop of something unexpected, and you never know what can bloom.
Blue. Chat, oh my god, I'm blue.
Life is like a soft breeze that sweeps across the land. When spices are abundant, it all comes down to careful selection. Water. Yes, the most important part of perfume is the easiest to overlook. Pure water. With no color or odor, all other ingredients have water. Yes, the most important part of perfume is the easiest to overlook. Pure water. With no color or odor, all other ingredients have nowhere to hide. Removing all distractions allows the true form to take shape. Then I think I'll combine the air after it rains, the nectar of a feisty flower,
This new perfume is
and
really popular. Wanna try?
fried food? Here. Ah, with a base note of pure satisfaction.
This is ass. This is ass. What a terrible demo. What is this?
You're telling me they're asking me to raid random characters? Is that what this is?
Oh wait, is that the thing I didn't do? Should I do it?
But
I'll do it. And then we can watch Nick's video. What year were you born? No, I'm getting doxxed! Which of the following characters do you know? Oh shit, they're gonna ask me about Sijuin. Oh shit. Oh shit. You can reroll? Yeah, I'm gonna reroll, I think. Chiori Ito Delu. Okay, bro. This is. I was gonna say the one I have the least to say about out of these three is Ito. And then they just gave me Ito again. Okay, I mean... surely we can have one character I'm excited about at least, right? Okay. Okay, this is, yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's do this. Oh, my goat! How much do you like her? Okay, are they asking like the gameplay or like the characterization? What do you guys, how should I answer this? Or like overall? Both are this though. Both are this. How satisfied are you with the following aspects? Combat strength. You know what? I'm actually very satisfied with her combat strength because she's boring, so she should be dog shit. Agreed? Agreed. I mean, yeah, no. Open world mechanics. What open world mechanics? Art/visual elements. She's ugly. Voice acting. I don't know. Characterization and storyline. She's boring. This is like the real one. If I'm not like mucking around, this is what I would answer. The only thing that I would check very satisfied for in regards to her is her demo music, which is one of the best out of the demos. For sure. Did you do the new Imaginarium Theater? Not yet. I don't know if we'll do it today or tomorrow. We'll have to see. Not owned. What was the main reason you did not obtain her? Character has weak combat abilities. Character's skill mechanics lack novelty. The character's control/movements feel poor. How willing are you to acquire her in the future? Definitely not willing. You have any other feedback regarding the character herself and your willingness to obtain her? Unironically, no. The closest thing to like actual valuable feedback that I could provide is a boring character when it comes to building teams because there are no off-field physical damage dealers. Overall, how much do you like Linny? I would say I somewhat like this character. How satisfied are you with the following aspects? Voice acting, don't really care. Open world mechanics. What do you mean, open world mechanics? Characterization and storyline. Combat strength. Art/visual elements. Okay-ish. Okay-ish, okay-ish. Do you own Linny? Yes. What was your primary motivation for obtaining Linny? It was... it was 4.0, and I had no content. Like, unironically, that is the main reason I got him. Like, I'm not even mucking around. This isn't even a joke. Like, it is funny, but it's also true. um... Do you have any other feedback regarding the character Linny himself and your willingness to obtain him? Oh, really? Linny's the sort of character that, like, should exist in the game. Right? He's a sort of character where, under the right circumstances, he can actually be pretty much the best unit in the game. But there's a lot of caveats to that, and those circumstances don't line up too often. He feels like a unit that actually properly has a power budget, where he's really strong at something, but he's paying for it with other aspects of his kit, mainly with his consistency. So I don't really have any feedback. I think Linny's a very well-designed character. Overall, how much do you like Xianyun? I like this character a lot. How satisfied are you with the following aspects? Voice acting, I don't even know what she sounds like, actually. Open world mechanics, yep. Characterization and storyline, dog shit. Art/visual elements, neutral. Combat strength, very satisfied. Oh wait, actually no, I forgot about the Skyward Scatter. You're right, very satisfied. You're right, that's a good point. You're right! You got me. Caught! Caught, you got me. Do you own her? Yes. What was your primary motivation for obtaining her? Interesting skill mechanics. Helpful for exploration. Need the character for my desired party composition. Yep. I don't really have any negative feedback, but I have positive feedback. Make more Xianyuns. Please. It's the sort of character that isn't just a good design. It's a design that's warping in an interesting way without being strict power creep. Right? It's her existence forces characters to be designed in a specific way with her in mind. But I think that's good. You know, I wonder how she's gonna work with Kanich with his weird ass like mid-air attack. Because he has like a mid-air attack and then a plunge attack. I wonder how that's gonna work with Xianyun. We'll see, I guess. Alright, overall, how much do you like Singto? Listen. It is complicated. Potatoes and berries. It is complicated, okay? The thing about Singto is that he's very strong, and the fact that he exists is very good. But he's also somewhat boring, and his strength makes it hard for other 4-star Hydro characters to shine. Singto being as strong as he is the reason why we didn't really get any 4-star Hydros ever. Right? Like, we got fucking Kent, like, she doesn't count. Barbara, barely a character. And it's because of Singto. It's because he's so strong that unless you make a very, like, specific, dedicated character for a very specific thing that excels at that thing, they're not going to be better than him. And generally, those characters tend to be 5 stars. His existence is, in one way, healthy for the game, because having very strong 4 stars is important. Without very strong 4 stars, the game veers too much towards pay to win in a way that makes free-to-play players unable to actually have fun with the game. So having a decent amount of actually good 4-star units is necessary. And he's in there as one of those. But at the same time, he's also too strong compared to the other 4 stars. Which makes it hard to make a character that does something that stands out from him in his element. It does reduce design space for Hydro units. And power level aside, he's one of the most boring characters in terms of, like, characterization. He's just a little rich bitch boy. Like, bro, shut up. No one likes you, buddy. But yeah, so my thoughts on Singso are complicated, but I would say, overall, I somewhat like the character. A 1,000 subs and I go bald right now. I'll go get my razor. I'll shave on stream. You know what? I actually wouldn't do that because I would be afraid of you chargebacking. Actually, does chargebacking work on subs? Maybe it doesn't. How much is 1,000 subs? Too much money. Don't do this. Alright, how satisfied are you with the following aspects for the character Singto? Open world mechanics, somewhat satisfied. Combat strength, very satisfied. Voice acting, very satisfied. Art, visual elements, very unsatisfied. Somewhat unsatisfied. Characterization and story, very unsatisfied. Would you really want to go bald for money? Oh, gladly, yeah. I've done it before, I'll do it again. Yeah, hair grows back. My hair grows really fast, too. Wait, is Julian out? I haven't played ZZZ in a while. But I wouldn't recommend using Sogaku as your carry, even at M6. A lot of her stuff is like, it leaves you very vulnerable if you use it. I don't think she's particularly strong against aggressive enemies. But don't take my word too seriously. I barely play ZZZ. Haven't logged in a while. Like a week or some shit. What do I even... Do I like her? I'm very neutral towards her. I don't really care. I'm like neutral in every single way. I don't really have feedback. Overall, how much do the following factors influence your willingness to pull for characters? Please rank them in order, with 1 being the most important and 7 being the least important. Yeah. Wow, so that's 30k.
Where are those?
Meta slaves? Yes. I am a slave to the meta. Call me... I don't think there's a non-insensitive joke I can make here, so I'll just end my sentence there. Anyways, you watched the new CJDX video yet? No, I haven't. I haven't been on YouTube while I was out of commission. Usually YouTube is stuff I watch on the side while I'm playing games. Social media detox. I mean, pretty much. Like, I scrolled a little bit of Twitter, but really not much. The only reason I saw the Mulaney changes is because someone mentioned me on Discord. And was like, yo, have you seen this? And I was like, oh, cool. I have a question. Why don't you equip wings on your characters? I mean, why would I? What do I gain from equipping wings on characters? What, like, what's the upside? Pretty? Well, what if I don't think it's pretty? What if I don't care? What if I like the monotone? What if I like it when all of my characters wear the same wings? Hmm? What then? What if my Riz is not conditional upon my drip, huh? Hmm? What then? What the fuck is he saying? Mr. Streamer, what is that? TGS video? I see. We'll take a look at it later. Alright, let's very quickly go. Actually, wait, I just realized I still have the letter low open from last time we did it, when we got it first try. Okay, let's do it first try again. Fuck. Okay, ninth try. Still, hey, still less than 13. Alright, that's better than average. We take those. I actually wonder what the average amount of guesses necessary to get the letterla is. Because look at it this way, right? Assuming everyone who starts it goes all the way to the end, and assuming... Yeah. The average should be around 13, right? Like 13.5, 14, 13. But you wouldn't count someone who does 9 and then is like, this game is stupid, and then gives up, right? So a lot of the higher numbers are going to end up not getting counted because the person never found them. So I wonder what the stats would actually be. Don't forget the cheaters, that's true. Real average would probably vary because most people start from the top or the sides. I mean,
Can't promise you'll like what
okay, but the letter's random every day. So yes, day to day it would be different, but across 500 days it would average out. New OK Ziox banger. Oh god. What is this?
I will dispatch it to you in 8 rotations. 50 kbps might be unreachable from
Can't hear it.
domain expansion. Glacial cascade.
I mean, okay. Mods tier list. Oh no. Wait, should I do that? Oh no. Wait, I feel like this would be toxic. Oh, I don't know if I want to do this. This one I don't even have to think about. Hey, wait, isn't it an L, not an I? Yeah, then why? Whatever, it's fine. Okay, okay, if we're being honest, Lud goes in S. And I don't know if Hypex should go in S as well because of the Discord stuff. Hypex isn't very present in in chat these days because I don't think they play Genshin anymore. Yeah, but they're an admin on the server and they've helped a lot on the server. Probably an S as well then. Chat, what if I love all the mods? I'm gonna put all of the other mods in A. Well, Kumamo's in B because he's French.
Report? Go on. You have my undivided attention.
Kumamo's in C because he's French. Kumamo's in D because he's French. No, no. Anyways.
I will dispatch of you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Forced to be brutally honest about random characters. Good luck. You can reroll if you want. Wait, really? Yeah, this might be a reroll. Okay, I'll give you guys my opinions because I'm not a scammer. Navia, unironically, like, in my opinion, and I don't really care too much about, like, her lore. I think she's, like, 5 out of 5 because she's actually a good Geo character and it's satisfying to play and has free-to-play friendly teams. And it's kind of like a Eula, but instead of, like, it being your burst that you have to hit, it's a skill and it's a lot, like, cooler. Not cooler, but, like, less annoying. I actually like Navia a lot. Chiori's cool, but she's kind of just albedo 2, so a bit not a 5. And then Ganyu's Ganyu. Okay, I have to pee. We are asked our opinion about Yoimiya and Kokomi and Chiori. You know what? I do know them. And I would love to tell you my opinion. How much do you like Yoimiya? No, I like Yoimiya. I do.
What's he gonna click? Okay, actually, how much does he actually like Yoimiya? I think if he's being completely honest, he will go, I somewhat dislike the character, but it's also he's an eggshell walker, you know? Like he puts himself in situations where he has to walk on eggshells, but he likes the thrill of walking on eggshells, but he doesn't actually want to break them, right? And And in order not to break the eggshells, he's, instead of just like standing on them, he's sitting on a fence with eggshells at his feet, right? And so as such, I don't think he would publicly actually say that he dislikes her, even though I guarantee you that he does. I think he will go either neutral or somewhat like. Or maybe he goes memeing around and says I like the character a lot. That's also possible. But in reality, he somewhat dislikes this character.
I like Yoimiya. Yoimiya is great. She's very fun. She's in the Aranara quest. She's a friend of the Aranaras. I like Aranaras. She's...
You're an eggshell stomper then? I'm just a walker. If there's eggshells, there's eggshells, but I don't go out of my way to find them, you know?
Bow character? Pyro as well. That's a good element. That's a good element. I like Yoimiya. When Yoimiya's banner first came out, my friend said, Zox. I said, how good is she? I wasn't you. How good is she? They said, Zox, just play Shangling. A single target, no AoE, just use Hu Tao. She's like a Hu Tao, but reverse power crypt. I said, you think I'm just gonna play for meta? They want to listen to my friend? And since that day, I've been maining Yoimiya, and look at them now. They can't even clear fucking 412. Look at me. Yeah, my AoE might suck, but I have Kazuha. Yeah, it might not be as good as Arlecchino or Hu Tao, but I have a bow.
Staring into my eyes is ill-advised.
And so, I lit up a
promise
firework in my friend's house, and let's just say that no one talks poorly about my queen. Just kidding. She's probably like, I mean, I like her. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Like playstyle wise,
Like
somewhat
I said,
dislike, but like game, like personality, I like her. I think she's kind of, you know, she's cool. Yeah. So let's just do next.
Yep. He's got to sit on the fence so he doesn't break the eggshells. It is what it is.
Oh fuck. How satisfied are you with the following aspect? Okay. I'm gonna be on. Okay, look, honest man. Characterization and storyline. I'm not gonna lie. There's some lore I really pay attention to, like Archon quests, and then there's others that, you know, I'm mashing through.
Okay, I think the Yoimiya story quests, the first one, not very good. The second one is the most annoying shit in the game, cause it goes like everywhere, and if you walk anywhere close to the vicinity, you're fucking locked into a cutscene. Did you even play it? I did most of it, and I don't think I ever tried to do it. Okay? I have done most of the Yoimiya Quest Part 2, and I have literally never tried to. It's the most annoying quest in the game, man.
Okay, all good. I do, you know, she's like a friend of the Aranara. She's pretty wholesome. So characterization, I think she's cool. Art and visual elements, I also think she's cool. You know what? I'll click this one. Voice acting, hey. Okay, okay. Great job. Combat strength. Sorry. Combat strength.
If he's being honest, he will do either very unsatisfied or somewhat unsatisfied. I think he's gonna be an eggshell walker and go neutral.
Open world. Okay, she's not like bad. She's not bad. She's just not. She's like, okay. She's basically like, because the thing is, Hu Tao came out before her. Like, if it was Yoimiya into Hu Tao, you'd be like, okay, you know, gotcha game to make the next like single target pyro better than the last one. I get it. But if it's like Hu Tao came first, she's not bad. She's just not like particularly good. That's all.
Rewatch? No, he's just very predictable.
That's all. Okay, I'm gonna say combat strength. I'm gonna say somewhat unsatisfied.
Oh!
Open world.
Shit! He went there! Damn, okay. I'm surprised. Wait, he went there.
Mechanics, I'm gonna say, honestly, I think the fact that her burst and
Open world mechanics, she is one of the few characters that is worse in open world than in Abyss, because in open world sometimes the enemies aren't already targeting you, and if the enemies aren't targeting you and they're literally just walking in a straight line in front of you, you can't hit them. Okay? She is one of the worst characters for open world. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Okay?
And skill don't really have much like cohesion. Kind of tilts me. Pyro Bow is definitely good for overworld. I agree. You can like light. Actually, she can farm specters easily. Okay, overworld mechanics. True, she can actually like fuck up specters and shit, which is
okay. That used to matter when specters were like ungroupable, but specters were nerfed. Okay, specters are so easy to farm now. One Sucrose E, one Kazuha E, one fucking whatever. Which one is this one? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is one of the best clips of all time. Oh.
is nice. What is your primary motivation for obtaining meow? What the fuck? Voice acting? Sure.
Yep, and that does it again. All right, if he's being honest, if he was being honest, he would say, "Other, I have to because I want to make a guide," and he would only click on that. Okay. If he doesn't want to admit to himself that the only reason he pulled for her is because he had to because he wanted to make a guide, he would say voice acting. And honestly, maybe voice acting would be with it anyways. Although I don't think Nick is the kind of guy to pull for a character just because he likes the voice actor. But by now, like, if he plays any gacha game in which Jenny Yoimiya voices a character, if he doesn't pull for them, he's gonna attract the wrath of his viewers, so he has to. Chat, what's the better joke? Jenny Yoimiya or Sino benched? Personally, I lean towards Jenny Yoimiya being funnier than Sino benched. Right, yeah, I guess Sayu benched. What are his viewers gonna do? Spam ta? Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Where does Jenny Yoimiya come from? So, remember when there was a trend to do, like, the name 100 women challenge? Well, I was with him on stream, and he was trying to do it, and he tried to say Jenny Yukamori, but he forgot her last name, so he, like, straight up without... I don't think he even realized it didn't make sense, but he straight up said Jenny Yoimiya. No thoughts, head empty. You named only 3. Dude, but it was so much funnier to watch him struggle than to help him. Do you not agree? Do you not agree? Do you not think it was funnier that way? Anyways. But like, let's go through these by one by one. I like the character's art / visual elements, maybe. The character has interesting skill mechanics? No. If he clicks on this, he's lying. The character's control / movements feel good. If he clicks on this, he's lying. The character has strong combat abilities. If he clicks on this, he's lying. The character is helpful for exploring the open world. If he clicks on this, he's lying. I need the character for my desired party composition. If he clicks on this, he's lying. I like the character's characterization storyline, maybe.
Yes, good for overworld.
No!
No.
Okay, he's lying. He's lying. He is out here lying in an official survey. I think he should be arrested and made to pay for his crimes.
I like the character's art. I wanted a pyro bow and didn't have amber. All right. Do you have any other feedback regarding Yoimiya herself? Okay, so personal. Okay, as a new player, I thought to myself, which DPS should I get? And I analyzed it. Let me play music. I thought Nevelet is too strong. Arlecchino is too hard. Alhaitham isn't fun. Shao is short. I'm in the mind of a hater. This isn't me, okay? This isn't me talking. This isn't me talking. Is too tall. I'll make it me. I'm sorry. Yoimiya, she's just perfect. And I pulled her. It's not me. I wouldn't say Alhaitham's not fun. I find him fun. How much do you like Sangonomiya Kokomi?
I see. I
like this character a lot. How satisfied are you? Very satisfied. Characterization and storyline? Okay.
Again, if he's being honest, he's gonna say very unsatisfied, but he's a fucking fence-sitting eggshell walker, so he's probably gonna say neutral.
This is like word of mouth. I'm pretty sure they kind of ruined her general image a little bit from the other Yoimiya Nation. Kokomi Nation enjoyers. Like I heard they did her dirty. Combat strength.
Oh my god, he took a firm stance against Kokomi. Holy shit, chat. Let's expose him on Twitter. Yeah. Hey, Ziox, you wanna explain this to Kokomi Nation? And this, chat, is a lesson in why Ziox is a fence sitter. You're welcome.
Like my understanding of Kokomi is like kind of badass general, like war leader, like fucking leads the water nation. And then in the story quest, she was kind of just like uwu traveler. I don't want to ruin my image of her, so I didn't do the story quest, but I love Kokomi. Combat strength, very good. Voice acting, very good. Art and visual elements, probably the best. I mean, probably her strongest element. Okay, well, I'm gonna do neutral. I'm gonna do I don't remember, didn't pay attention. Thought?
Wait, no! I knew it. Fuck. I let myself be led astray.
Okay. Do you own Kokomi? Yep. What were your motivation?
I let myself... Wait. I need to spreading misinformation online. There we go. We don't need to take it now. We just need to add this. It's been saved. Saved.
Art and visual elements. I mean, like now it would be strength. At the time, I was just like to test her. Boom, boom, boom.
Interesting skill mechanics. And what are such skill mechanics that are interesting to you, Ziox?
Do you have any feedback regarding Kokomi and your willingness to obtain her? Kokomi is... I don't even know what the fuck to say. Do the fish emote. Okay. How much do you like Chiori? I like Chiori somewhat. The only thing I don't like, I like her design and stuff. The only thing I don't like about her is that she just feels like Albedo too. Like there's not much.
Okay, so here I will again be your window into the soul of Ziox. Okay, I will be. Imagine Ziox as a house. Okay, and the house has a very nice living room with large, tall window panes to sunbathe in the afternoon. Okay. And you're a weird creep who wants to see inside the house, okay? Well, I'm the window into... I'm the window pane. I will help you see into Ziox's house. Anyways, moving on. So here's what he actually thinks of... Oh... Here's what he actually thinks about Chiori, okay? He feels somewhat neutral about Chiori as a character. And he really dislikes Chiori's gameplay. So if he were being honest, he would probably say either somewhat dislike or neutral. If you guys want to know what I think about Chiori, I actually think that Chiori is one of the few characters that is actually interesting that Hoyo's made. I think generally Hoyo tends to ruin their own... Most of their 5-star characters end up getting ruined by the fact that they're 5-stars, so they want to give them a lot of story significance so that people get attached to them. And they just suck at writing characters, so they kind of just end up ruining their own characters. But I feel like they didn't really do that too much with Chiori, and I think her character is like pretty interesting. She's like actually sassy. It's more than sassy. Like she's a menace. Like, she's an actual menace. So I kind of like her. I think that within the 5-star characters, she's definitely one of the best ones. Is she chaotic evil? No, not at all. There's not really evil characters in Genshin. The only characters that are, like, actually evil are either working for a faction with unclear goals, so it's hard to actually speak to their real motivation, or end up getting redeemed by the story in some way, right? Like, the only character that actually approaches evil is, like, Dottore. But without actually knowing what his goals are, it's hard to really pass judgment on him. And even then, there's only one character. Child literally in voice line said he wants World in Blood. I mean, yeah, because he's a fucking edgy little guy. It's who cares? Kind of curious, what's your take on Arlecchino's character writing? I didn't like what they did in her story quest too much. I think outside of her story quest, it's very good, but her story quest itself is was a bit disappointing to me. Arlecchino feels like lawful evil. She's not really lawful or evil, though. Durin could have been evil, but 4.8 happened. I mean, that's not really Durin, though, is it? But yeah, also, yeah, Durin was never really an evil character. I feel like Durin was always portrayed as a tragic character more so than an evil one. A victim of circumstance. But I don't pay that much attention to the lore, so maybe... Isn't the heavenly principle evil? Bro, we barely know anything about them. Maybe. Fatui alt accounts, true. Why do people hate Dory? I mean, anyone would hate Dory if she was a real person. It's not about capitalism, really. It's just straight up unadulterated greed. Sounds like capitalism. I mean, yes and no. Capitalism is more than just greed. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Dory isn't really capitalism because she doesn't represent the hoarding of money in ways where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Like, it's not... She's just greedy. She's not really a capitalist. She's just on that Sigma grind set. Exactly. Yeah, like, it's not really about capitalism. It's not really about the organization of labor. It's just straight up, she likes money. She wants more money. She's very greedy. And it's not actually that complex. It's part of why, outside of just thinking she would be an unlikable person, I also think that she's an unlikable character, and a pretty bad one, is that I think she's a bit too simple. Dory would be a drug dealer if she was a real person? I don't think so. I think Dory would be a pawn shop owner if she was a real person. I think she would own a sweatshop if she was real. I don't know about that. I feel like she's not really present enough in the story for us to be able to get to the conclusion that she would actually want to organize labor in an exploitative way to make her money. Yeah, like, she scams people, but I don't think she's particularly interested in the constant exploitation of the working class, you know? Yeah, like, maybe it's just characterization I'm missing because I didn't read all the lore about her, but I don't think she's ever actually shown to employ anyone. Like, she's not really anyone's boss, is she? Like, not in like a contract sort of way, but in an employee sort of way. Anyways, Dory's kind of a whatever character to me. Like, she's obviously unlikable, but I also don't really want to expend energy thinking or talking about her because I feel like she's inconsequential and boring. Anyway.
much like, I mean, okay, I like that. I both like and dislike her E because I think it's really cool that it like swaps you to another character. That's like a new mechanic. However, I don't like that it forces you to go to the next character, which means that if you act like if your party setup isn't perfectly crafted in the right order, you're cooked. Also, if you press E too many times, you E on the character you swap into, and it makes you want to cry. But it is a unique thing, and I think it's cool. And also, her Tamago doesn't get destroyed like Albedo's Flower can, although Albedo's Flower doesn't get destroyed that much. Zhongli's Pillar does. If you're playing Zhongli in a Geo team, get fucked particles, but Albedo usually can position it fine. I like Shiori. Open world mechanics, sure. You can like E on the high ground. Characterization, I actually like her personality. Art and visual elements, yup. Voice acting, sure. Combat strength, somewhat satisfied, yup. Do you own Shiori? Yup. Other. She told the guy at the store being weird to walk into the ocean and take a deep breath, and that made me respect her for who she is.
Agreed.
So some poor girl's dumb dream is more important than my business.
Look at her.
dinner? Huh?
She's thinking it. Look, we're all thinking it. She just didn't say it yet, but she's thinking it. I'll say it for you. Fuck it, I'll take the ban.
What do you mean? I thought you wanted your suit tailored.
Look at her. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And then she broke the glass. Anyways.
Again, my headcanon of that scene is she actually did tailor his suit and just basically like cut his pants and made him naked. And then he got scared, so he threw himself out of the window. And I will not take another interpretation, okay? That is the only interpretation that I will accept, okay? She humiliated him. And that is it. I will take no questions.
Do you have any other feedback regarding the character Shiori? Okay, I will say, gameplay-wise, a bit too similar to Albedo.
It's very specific. Okay, the situation was, okay, she was threatening a guy by saying she would, quote, tailor his suit right after using her knife to cut a big-ass line, whatever, to open up the sleeve of his suit. Okay? Like all I'm saying is it is very much a natural progression of that action with that threat. Those were scissors, not a knife. Whatever. That's not the important part. People are just caught up on you saying naked. Okay, listen, alright? Sometimes it's not... She locked the door, didn't she? Yeah! Which would be even more of a suggestion that she was planning on escalating her cutting his clothes down. And the fact that it was a fade to black and we didn't see anything... even more of a suggestion that it's something they couldn't show. Like, all I'm saying is, it's perfectly reasonable. I thought it was obvious for everyone. Exactly! Maybe he wasn't naked. Maybe he got stripped down to his underwear, okay? But Anyways, what's up, Comembos? Tier mod, true. Like, you get it, right? It makes sense, right? Why am I getting trash talk like that? Well, I was doing a mod tier list earlier, and I put you relatively low because you're French. French debuff, sorry. Saj, yeah. Saj indeed. Are you team pain au chocolat or team chocolatine? This is important. Pain au chocolat. All right, you're getting banned. I'm sorry, but that's too much. That's taking it too far. It's not chocolate bread, okay? It's not bread. It's pastry. What, next time you're gonna call an almond croissant a fucking almond bread? Oui, pain aux amandes. Shut up! It's a croissant! I would, even though I would be weirded out by it, I would understand you calling it a chocolate croissant. Because, like, I kind of get that, okay? But bread? No. No. I'm sorry, but no. Because, like, let's be honest, okay? A chocolate muffin is closer to chocolate bread than a chocolatine is, okay? So if you're calling a chocolatine a pain au chocolat, you gotta call chocolate muffins pain au chocolat as well. Because, like, just from a consistency standpoint, it is closer to bread, okay? Confront your inner bias, Koemos. Overcome being French. I believe in you.
Gameplay and performance-wise, even though she can be slightly better, but still a solid character and good for Geo Nation.
I've been raised like that. It's too difficult. I mean, you were also raised French, and yet here you are speaking English. I'm assuming you were raised, like, in French more so than in English. But it's probably true, right? I was? Yeah, okay. And yeah, here you are, speaking English. Hell, you stream mainly in English. Isn't that a betrayal of who you are? Isn't it a betrayal of who I am for me to stream in English? It's not my first language. I couldn't speak a word of English before I went to, like, if you ask first grade Zajef, He would say, yes, I am the Zajef. Actually, he'd probably say I are Zajef, because he doesn't... First grade Zajef didn't understand English verbs very well. Didn't you learn English from League? I became fluent in English through a mix of League and watching TV shows. I feel like the main reason why I became so fluent in English is because the TV shows I watched were not just American shows. I watch a lot of British shows as well. Like, I remember watching Merlin when I was a kid with my parents. It was a lot of fun. What's your favorite TV show right now? I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Out of all TV shows, my all-time favorite is probably Mob Psycho. But I assume you're asking outside of anime. What do I really like? I really like Psych. I like... yeah, The Bear is very good. I haven't watched the most recent season. Mob Psycho is not a TV show? Yes, it is. Breaking Bad? I don't like Breaking Bad as much as other people do. I don't dislike it, but... Lost? No. I used to really like Doctor Who, but my love for Doctor Who has waned in recent years. SpongeBob? I was never a SpongeBob fan. I grew up with The Simpsons. But it was the Quebec dub. of oh. The Quebec dubs of The Simpsons. Wait, there's a clip of the Quebec dubs of The Simpsons that's so funny. Simpsons, France, Quebec dub. Yeah. It's when they're visiting France, and in the original, they're speaking English, and the people around them speak French, and so they can't understand each other. But for the Quebec dub, they just decided to have it be a really thick French accent and a Quebec accent, and it's so funny.
Oh, monsieur Apollite, vite, ça marche pas tout, là.
Désolé, petit, mais je pige que dalle.
C'est à cause des deux gars où je reste. Ces deux vrais fous, ils sont dangereux. Ils me font écraser du raisin jour et nuit, puis ils me donnent pas de saucisses, puis ils me nourrissent pas, puis ils me font dormir sans
Tenez,
foi.
mon petit, voilà du chewing gum.
Oh, j'en veux pas de gomme, j'ai besoin d'aide à cause des deux fous. Il faut les arrêter, ces deux-là, ils sont dangereux.
Je suis désolé, je pige pas un mot de ce que vous racontez.
Oh, laissez donc faire. Pourquoi ils comprennent rien? Je pensais qu'ils comprenaient le français en France. S'ils parlaient pas avec cet accent-là, ils pourraient piger, non? Je pige bien mon côté de cause. Hey! Ouais, c'est ça, j'ai trouvé l'accent qu'il faut. Ils vont enfin me comprendre. Monsieur le gendarme, il y a ces deux mecs qui me font ramer jour et nuit. Ils me donnent rien à clapper pour ce qui est du plus bas, alors là, que dalle, hein? En plus, ils combutent de l'épinard avec de l'antigel. Ils ont même refilé ma gambette rouge à leur âne.
De l'antigel dans le
It's so
pinard.
funny, dude. It's actually so funny. It's it's such a funny scene. Anyways. As a French speaker, this is hilarious, yeah. Yes, it is.
C1, I want to say C1 should be base kid, but like, yeah, I wish she could double summon with Navia without C1, but so is life. Next, how much do you like Kea? I love Kea. How satisfied with the fully aspects of
I love balls.
Gaia? Comments ranked? He's actually good and underrated, okay? For
Please stay in the closet when it comes to your French identity, man. That's fucked up.
a free 4-star, actually very satisfied. For a free 4-star, I think he's very underrated and a solid character. Open world mechanics, cool it. He used the OG Ice Bridger, never forget. Not like amazing for it. Like, I feel like ice bridging half the time is annoying, but I remember 1.0 low stamina for the Geo Hippopotamus. You would ice bridge there. Who knows? Who remembers? I remembers. So cool. Characterization, I like him. I like that, you know, Carrie Bear quest he lore dropped, or I don't know what quest he like was like, my great grandfather was a terrorist, and then what the fuck, he founded the Abyss. What the fuck? Anyways, he's cool. Voice acting, I actually like Kaya, cool it, balls. Art and visual elements, I like him, cool it, balls. Next, is there any other feedback about the character that Kaya that you would like to share? Balls. No, it's gonna get blacklisted if I type balls. Did you know that Kaya, Rosaria, Shangling, Bennett performs extremely well as one of the best free-to-play accessible 4-star teams that doesn't require
I forgot I opened that. I forgot I opened this. Fuck. Okay.
Sing Cho or any other hydro for that matter, allowing you to run them on your other half and decimating most Abyss rotations. Next, Kujo Sara. I like Sara. Well, okay, I don't really like her kit, but I like...
Chat, what do you like about Sarah? Be honest. I forgot she exists. That's honest. Nothing. Her sandals. Her name is short. Why is that something you like? I like that she simps, so she's relatable. I guess she does, yeah. Yeah, I guess for some of you guys in chat, she would be relatable, huh? Zajef talking like he ain't dumping for Ziox. So what does that simping? Am I simping for Ziox? I call him ugly and bald all the time. Tsundere behavior? But he actually is ugly and bald. I'm not saying things I don't mean. Is that... Sorry. I'm so sorry. Too far? True. Cliping this hog. Thank you for the clip. We know you read Zajef Exile's fanfics at night. Okay, listen, okay? Jokes aside, anyone who writes fanfics about real people should be shot in the head. That's weird. Don't do that. Like, that's really fucking weird. Unless you know they're okay with it, which I'm not. So, yeah, that's weird. Bit drastic? Yeah, okay. In-game. Should be shot in the head in-game.
Her design, I think she's very cool. But I kind of don't like her. I don't like the... Sorrow is one of the firsts in the trend of niche character for a specific element. And there's like,
what if my fanfic is you insulting him like you do in real life? Don't start doing what you know what I mean. What about Joe Biden x Trump or Elon x Facebook guy? It's still weird. Like, okay, so you gotta understand that, like, the act of doing it is weird and really shitty. But I'm not gonna judge you as harshly if you do something weird and shitty to someone who is a terrible person, as if you do it to someone who didn't do anything wrong. You know? Like, in my eyes, the morality of punching someone in the face, which is an action that is objectively rude and shitty, it varies a lot on who you're punching in the face, you know? Writing fanfic of a real-life person is an action that is also really weird and shitty. But I'm not gonna care as much if you do it to Elon Musk as if you do it to, like, an actual nice person. I will still think you're a weirdo, though, because it's kind of still a weird thing to do. What did Elon do? We don't have time to... What did he not do? Jesus Christ. IMO should be consistent. God damn it. Oh. Would you rather get rid of Elon Musk or Trump permanently? You know, that's a good question. I wonder. I wonder which, like, if one of them were to, like, just stop existing tomorrow, which one of them would be overall better for the world? Because, like, Trump is older and closer to death, and also, without Elon's election interference, he has a lot less chances to win the elections. So Elon being gone would also hurt Trump's power. I don't know. I really don't know. Let me add a third one and get rid of Netanyahu. That's fair, honestly. Elon has a very high chance to run for president once Trump is gone. I think it's very unlikely that Elon runs for president, because he wasn't born in the US. So in order for him to be eligible to run, the Constitution would have to be changed. Which, to be fair, if Trump gets elected, is a very real possibility. Right? So, like, I'm not saying it could never happen, but it is somewhat unlikely. You have to be born to run, only citizenship doesn't work, yeah. I'm not an expert on fucking US law, but from what I understand, one of the conditions to be eligible for president is you have to be born from... You have to be a natural born citizen. Which is to say, you have to be born from citizens in the US. There's a lot of conditions to be eligible, but that's one of them. Anyways. Constitutions are made to be changed, and that change wouldn't even be bad. I mean, yes and no. Like, I agree that the natural born citizen condition is very arbitrary. But if that's the condition that prevents Elon from being eligible for president, then so be it, man. Are we talking about Sarah? Yeah, this conversation is about Cujo Sarah. 100%. Yep. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Chat, what do you guys think of the recent wave of people just calling conservatives weird? I think it's so funny. It's so funny seeing actual grown adults being actually like incredibly angry about being called what 14-year-old girls on Tumblr called themselves a few years ago. It's so funny, man. It's actually so funny. It's also more funny that they try to prove it's not by doing weird shit. Yeah, it's like, no, I'm not weird. I know my dad's not weird because I know what porn he watches because I monitor his porn and he also monitors my porn, and that way we can know that neither of us are weird. Like, bro, that's I couldn't have come up with that. I could not have come up with that. Okay, like no shot I could have come up with that. Like I don't have the creativity to come up with something like that. That is. It's just so funny that it's actually real. That there's like someone who actually straight up said that and he wasn't lying. Like that's just that's so funny. It's just so funny, man. Oh. Who said that? Does anyone know? I don't remember. I know I saw it, but I don't remember what the name of the guy was. Mike Johnson. Okay, wait, is it in this one?
Us MAGA Republicans banned abortion, but that's just the start.
Okay, I think this is a satirical video about something. Okay, but
if Trump gets elected, we want the government involved in all aspects of your sex life.
Way more involved.
Way more involved.
When you have sexual intercourse, it should be illegal to use contraception. No pills, no condoms.
Your genitals are reserved for procreation.
If you freeze 12 eggs, you
Normal? Yeah, I do.
It's normal for your son to do that.
You should have a family member monitor your porn use too.
Because pleasuring yourself is very...
Wait. I gotta find it. I know there's an article about it. I should look this up in incognito. Mike Johnson. I don't know how to look this up without it being so weird. Mike Johnson, father. It's in chat. Mike Johnson admits he and his son monitor each other's porn intake in resurfaced video. I'm proud to tell you, my son has got a clean state, Speaker of the House says of his accountability partner.
With covenant eyes within your home. And so why is that such an effective tool? Why do parents need to put this into their home?
Yeah, that's great question. We probably could have called this more appropriately a war on the darkness of technology, because there are some good things with technology, of course. I mean, you know, the Bible apps we all love, we broadcast our services, you know, on our social media, and there's some very positive things, but there's also, as Clint's pointed out aptly, some really dark things. So Covenant Eyes is the software that we've been using a long time in our household I first learned about it at, I think, a Promise Keepers event in the early 2000s. I think it was developed in about the year 2000. But it's the largest accountability software that there is, and there's some paperwork out there on the table that I think everybody may have picked up on the way in. If not, go get it. It's a subscription-based, I mean, we don't make any money on this. I'm telling you, we use it, okay? I'm endorsing it because I'm a user. It's about $15 a month, $16 a month, something like that. And you get up to 10 devices. And what it is, it's accountability software. So men in a church, you know, men's Bible study groups will do it. That's how it's presented at Promise Keepers. But they also mention, hey, when your kids become teenagers, especially if you have boys, dads, they're talking to the guys at this event, you might want to think about doing this with your sons. And so we've been doing that. And so what it does real simply is it has an algorithm and software. It's way above my head how it works, but it scans, you obviously opt into it, but it scans all the activity on your phone or your devices, your laptop, tablet, what have you. We do all of it. And then it sends a report to your accountability partner. So my accountability partner right now is Jack, my son, right? And so he's 17. So he and I get a report of all the things that are on our phones or all of our devices once a week.
See, okay. It's one thing to, like, monitor what your children are exposed to on the internet, okay? Right? And be worried about what sort of stuff your kids are seeing, right? That's one thing. It's a totally different thing to have your children monitor what you look at on the internet. That's fucking weird.
If anything objectionable comes up, your accountability partner gets an immediate notice. I'm proud to tell you my son he's got a clean slate, all right? Yeah. But we get a report and it says, hey, no activity of concern, and it's really sensitive. It'll pick up almost anything. It looks for keywords, search terms, and also images.
Like, this shit is weird, man. This shit is weird, man. Oh. Is not porn related like you first said. I mean, it is. What do you think objectionable activities are? Playing gacha games. True! Playing League of Legends, too. Yeah, good point, good point. Anyways. The fact that he's so happy explaining it makes it even worse. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does make it worse, you're right. Anyways, let's get back on topic.
I think that's fine because it lets them avoid power creep and make new units that like fill a specific niche, which I think is fine. However, if a lot of their power is constellation locked, which kind of is for Sarah, but it's not even close to Farazan, so I hate Farazan much more for that than Sarah. But obviously C2, C6, notably C2, you know, well, yeah, actually both can definitely matter. But I also think that even in her like niche, like most of the time I'm making an Electro team, even if it's an Electro team with an Electro carry, I'm picking Fischl. Sorry, I said it. Sorry, I said it. Or like you can do it like Raiden, but Raiden also doesn't need Sarah. Like you can do Raiden Sarah, but you also don't need Sarah, which, you know, it's not a bad thing. Like you don't want to be dependent on a character, but it's not like she does that much for that many characters, but she's fine. Open world mechanics.
You know, I feel like an Electro Navia would be really interesting for Sarah. A character that just does pew, and then that's it. Could be really interesting for Sarah. Sarah's one of those characters that like can be good. Right, like her main issue isn't that she provides no value, is that the value she provides is pretty limited, and that she feels clunky to use. But like, there's definitely ways of designing characters that would actually want Sarah.
Neutral? I mean, I don't really know. Honestly, whatever. Characterization and storyline, I didn't pay attention. Sorry, Inazuma is blocked out of my memory. Combat strength, honestly, don't hate me. She's not like bad, but yeah, not amazing. Voice acting, sure. Art and visual elements, I really like. Next, any other feedback? 1 second. Fischl von Luftschloss Narfidort is a playable Electro character.
Narfidort. I feel like out of all the possible ways to pronounce this, it's probably the worst one. No, Narfidort probably would be worse.
In Genshin Impact, sorry. Overall, how much do the following factors influence your willingness to pull for characters? Rank them in order, with 1 being important and 7 being the least important. Like most important and 7 being the least important. Okay, I'm gonna say this as a non-guide maker, okay? This is purely me as a player. This isn't the order right now. These 4, these are the ones I care about the most. Honestly, it's mostly these 3. Well, this definitely matters too. It's definitely these 4. Control movement is kind of why I like Xiao, although I liked him before I played him because he looks cool, but like I think he feels very like, I like characters that are like agile, like that feel like, that's why I kind of like Chlorine, because you can kind of control what you're doing with her. Like you can dash, you can choose the direction you dash in, whereas like Yae Miko, I like Yae, but sometimes you play her and you're like, right here, right now, and then you get fucking knocked into Antarctica, and it's like, okay, well, I'll just fucking kill. But I think art and visual elements definitely matters. It definitely matters to me. So it's probably art and visual elements, then control movement, then combat strength, then characterization, then party lineup, then open world. No, then I mean, these are kind of whatever to me, but open world's nice. Like I might get C1 Yelan for that, and the voice acting. Oh, that's it. What the heck? Wait, should I do it on my free-to-play account so I get more different characters?
Okay, Baiju? Blood is just stalling right now. That's just okay. Blood is actually just stalling. I mean, I also stall, but yeah.
Something you wish to report? Go on. You have my undivided attention.
Thoughts about Molani? Yeah, we can talk about the Molani. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those are my thoughts about Bologna. That pretty much sums it up. Okay, we can talk about the Maloney nerfs. Okay, so effectively, what they've done from V2 to V3 is they've made her thing last a bit longer, right? Or they've made her surf last a bit longer, and they've slightly buffed the frequency of your stack generation. But in exchange for that, they significantly nerfed the damage that she does. All together, it creates a situation where if you go from being able to do 2 reliably to being able to do 3 reliably, you get very similar motion value output to before V2 changes. Right? It's still weaker than V1, but it's very similar to V2. However, from what I've seen, it doesn't actually seem to be strictly +1. There are going to be situations where it goes from 2 to 3, and I think that's generally a fine assumption to make. I think that 2 was a reasonable assumption. Like, reliable 2 was a reasonable assumption before the changes. Reliable 3 is somewhat reasonable assumption after the changes. Obviously, it's going to depend on the enemies. Some enemies have hitboxes that just really suck, so you're not going to be able to get 3 at all. But I think reliable 3, as a general case, is a fine assumption to use. And as such, the changes aren't really that big. However, it makes her uptime longer, which extends your rotation's length, and which makes it so that your setups, right, all your buff uptime, well, your buff uptime isn't changing, but your damage uptime is, which means that the third chomp is very often going to be missing some of your buffs. You're probably going to be missing VV on every single third chomp, right? It's going to be really difficult to have VV setups that reliably get the third chomp. It's probably only going to be doable in, like, very specific Guoba setups, maybe. But even then, Guoba might not be enough Pyro App for 3 chomps. Probably isn't anymore. So, realistically, in those teams, it's pretty much always a nerf, even if you go from 2 to 3. Because the third chomp not being buffed is a pretty big damage loss, right? And in terms of just motion value, it's like about a 3-4% increase if you go 3 chomps with V3 versus 2 chomps with V2. But obviously, if you're losing buffs on your third chomp, then the damage is going to be lower from V2. All in all, I don't know how I feel about the changes. It kind of feels like they're telling you, hey, don't bother with VV setups. And, like, VV setups are still going to be good, but they're not going to be as good. And it kind of feels like they're telling us, hey, VV setups aren't worth your time. Play the more straightforward stuff that makes use of burning or other stuff rather than VV. And on one hand, I don't like that it feels like they're forcing your hand. But on the other, I do like that it's incentivizing stuff other than VV setups. Because VV setups are pretty much always the best thing. And that kind of gets repetitive and boring after a while. So I like that they're trying to incentivize other stuff. But yeah, overall, I think they're probably good changes for balance. I think that her overall power level from V2 is definitely lower, and obviously from V1 is significantly lower, because V1 to V2 was already a pretty decently big nerf. And then obviously V2 to V3 in most situations is also going to be a nerf. But I don't know. I'm not sure which team I would recommend now, because her longer uptime means worse synergy with the short rotation stuff. You know, when 2 chomp was what you wanted to do, I really liked the idea of trying to do short, like 14-ish second rotations with Guoba as your only source of pyro. Right, with Kazuha, Shengling, and like Zhongli or something. And I thought that would have been a really, really interesting team. But now with longer rotations, I don't love it as much. And with 3 hits instead of 2, vaping all of them with Guoba alone is going to be a lot harder. I don't think it's actually going to be doable at all, like if you're also trying to get a swirl set up. Which is sad, I guess. Is Xinyan still a thing? Yeah, definitely. But Xinyan's purpose is mainly in those VV setup teams, so it's also getting a little bit of a hit compared to some of the other teams. I think that in practice, some form of pyro plus Nahida plus a flex slot, either like Zhongli, another pyro, or Emily, is probably gonna be her most popular team. I really do think the changes incentivize stuff other than the VV changes, or other than VV setup teams. And to begin with, VV setup teams aren't that popular, right? Like, they're often very, very good, but really unpopular when it comes to, like, general gameplay for most people. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how things are gonna turn out. But I do expect Nahida to be a very popular partner with her. TGS video time? Yeah, we can watch that, sure.
Guys, just what in the damn hell is all you guys doing to Mulaney? With this week's beta update, both Kinich and Mulaney received some changes, and for Mulaney specifically, all hell broke loose again because many people interpreted what happened to her as a huge nerf. So I'll explain to you what happened to both and make more light on the situation. Starting from Mulaney, last week most of her main damage dealing multipliers already took a big hit. To context, last week most of her main damage dealing multipliers already took a big hit. To contextualize things a bit, Mulan is first and foremost a character that deals damage to opponents through normal attacks, basically shark bites. The bites deal damage depending on how many stacks Mulan has, and she can get those by making contact with opponents through her shark board. Last week, the shark bites multipliers got nerfed by a lot, and this caused plenty of anger within the community. As a response to this, Hoyoverse went and nerfed them again. Surprise, surprise. The multipliers on her full stack normal attacks in particular are now almost halved in damage compared to what she could do in her first version, when I considered her to be on the same level as Nouvellette or potentially better numbers wise, so it's not ideal. But still, what if I told you that there are actually good news as well, for once? In particular, prior to this update, Mulani's special stance that allows her to use the shark in battle only lasted for up to 8 seconds. On the flip side, with the latest update, they basically buffed the passive that extends the duration of the stance, and she can now stay in that mode for 9 seconds and a half, more than she could in any beta before this one. As a result, she can now practically deal more normal attacks during her uptime on average. Last week, I estimated that she could only use 2 full stack normal attacks.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about, right? If you're looking at it without any external buffs, looking at specifically 2 normal attacks with full stacks versus 3 with full stacks, V2 to V3, it is about 3 to 4% buff in terms of motion value. True. But in a lot of situations, it's not actually going to be 2 to 3. And then on top of that, that third one is almost always going to lose at least some of the buffs, which means that in practice, it's almost always a nerf. At best, a very slight nerf. At worst, a big one.
During her uptime, which was kind of a low ball to be honest, but still overall fairly realistic for the average scenario in my opinion. With this week's update, it seems that—
Yeah, that's fair, right? Like, 2 normal attacks average is a low ball, but it's something you can get pretty reliably. I think that getting 3 normal attacks on V2 or on V3 is a little bit harder than getting 2 normal attacks on V2. So it's also important to keep that in mind to some extent. If it is the only buff she'll lose, that's not true. There are other buffs that don't last that long. Kazuha, for example, Kazuha's damage buff lasts for
Adventure team,
how long? 10 seconds? Is it? Not even 8 seconds. It's 100% expiring before the third one. Often expiring before the second one too, honestly. What other buffs could you get? Ducros. Ducros buffs, also 8 seconds. Also 8 seconds. Like, yeah. Anyways.
that she can do 3 full stack normal attacks rather comfortably. Honestly, kind of depends. As I said earlier, Mulan gets stacks by touching opponents with her shark board with a cooldown of 0.7 seconds. This works very well against stationary bosses with big hitboxes, in which case you can simply stay glued to them and keep getting stacks, but it becomes less reliable when she's facing smaller enemies that can be pushed and moved around. Still, the number of lasts 7 seconds. This works very well. Honestly, kind of depends. As I said earlier, Mulan gets stacks by touching opponents with her shark board with a cooldown of 0.7 seconds. This works very well against stationary bosses with big hitboxes, in which case you can simply stay glued to them and keep getting stacks, but it becomes less reliable when she's facing smaller enemies that can be pushed and moved around. Still, the number—
That's not true, it's the other way around. Because the cooldown is per enemy, so if you have multiple enemies, then you stack a lot faster.
Attacks you can—
You're still very gated by your animation times though, so you're still never really getting more than at most 4. Maybe it's possible to get a 5th one that's not fully stacked, But like fully stacked, you're pretty much never getting more than 4, even in heavy AoE scenarios because of animation times. But yeah.
And deal increased in either case, and overall this can sort of compensate for the loss she received in terms of multipliers. But can it actually? Truthfully, her having a longer field time on 9 seconds now comes with both pros and cons. The main con is that in many of her rotations I had her using the elemental skill, so the special stance twice per rotation in rather long setups. Now that her uptime became quite a bit longer for every elemental skill, these long setups are harder to envision. Additionally, she now fits worse in setups like double hydro vape with Fiorina, because she now has more attacks she needs to vape herself. This idea was theoretically good, because since neither Fiorina nor Mulaney are super constant hydro appliers, Ling could sort of enable both, with some limitations of course. With Mulaney launching additional normal attacks,
I don't actually agree with that. I think that's very much a non-issue. Because, like, yes, you now have more attacks you need to vape, but the interval difference is very small, and you having 3 instead of 2 also now means that you get punished less for missing a vape. I think that part of it is very much a non-issue.
I consider these themes kinda off the table for now. On the other hand, her uptime getting longer in a single window made her fit in more traditional setups better, specifically shorter rotations, even shorter than 20 seconds. I removed Ling from my calculations here because now the routes are too short to suit both her cooldowns and their energy requirements. But luckily there are plenty of pyro players that can enable Mulaney actually, since she just needs to vape 4 attacks per rotation cumulatively. Characters like Dea and Xinyan seem rather competent in his role, with Xinyan specifically being interesting because of
I don't think this is a real rotation, is it? You're not swirling Hydro second rotation with this, are you?
and Xinyan seem rather competent in his role, with Xinyan specifically being interesting because of her ability to self-apply pyro through her elemental skills, specifically
be? I don't think so.
interesting because of her ability to self-apply pyro through her elemental skill shield. This thing allows Kazuha in particular to swirl Hydro on an opponent while being able to infuse his elemental burst with pyro and reinforce the pyro application on opponents that way. But the most interesting theme is that
nothing should be surviving that much damage. This is not actually that much damage, right? This is what, 60k DPS over a 15-second rotation, so it's 900k. That's not even half a boss's HP. We're talking most normal enemies. Why do you care about min-maxing for a normal overworld enemy? Like, yes, obviously, when I talk about multi-rotation stuff, I'm not talking about enemies that die in one rotation. This is a... it's not something I should have to explicitly say. I'm assuming that you already are aware of this.
Xinyan seem rather competent in his role, with Xinyan specifically being interesting because of her ability to self-apply Hydro on application while being able to infuse his elemental burst with...
Thank you, Zajef, for sending me this clip. Did I send him this clip? I don't remember that. Wait, did I? Oh yeah, I did. I forgot.
with pyro and reinforce the pyro application on opponents that way. But the most interesting theme is definitely with Mona to me. Mona really fits well in short rotations because of how limited their buffs are in terms of total duration. Within that time frame, however, they are some of the best in the game.
Oh no. Oh no, chat. They're back. The Mona no E rotations are back. No! No! I thought I was rid of you! Oh. What's the problem with Mona E? It steals your vapes and it activates the omen earlier. Although actually, you're activating the omen early anyways, right? Because Shinyan Shield Pulse, I believe, does poise damage. Let me double check. KQM TCL. Characters. Pyro. Shinyan. Skill. Yeah, it does. Okay. So it's gonna proc Mona's. It's gonna proc Mona's Omen early. You're not getting more than 2. I don't even know if you are getting 2. Maybe. Guess it depends on how it lines up. Interesting, though.
Duration. Within that time frame, however, they are some of the best in the game, especially on Constellation 1, where her Omen buff will also give Mulaney an extra 15% reaction bonus for vaporizes. Overall, I would say that in terms of teams, at least numbers wise, Mulaney didn't receive a significant hit in terms of how good her best teams are, so probably it's not as bad as many people thought this would be. However, I think her great team choices definitely got more limited in terms of total amount, because of her changes in terms of uptime, total amount of attacks, so that's a shame, I guess.
I mean, this team definitely got a big hit. What's the rotation? Ooh. Wait. Do you even have VV for your first normal attack in this rotation? Mono Q is a long animation. First, probably just barely. Second, definitely not. Oof. I think I'd rather see Kazuha over Sucrose and do Shinyan E into Kazuha EQ into Mona Q. Why isn't he doing that? I guess at really low ping, this is actually about as fast of a setup, huh? I mean, I guess it works.
I would say she's still looking pretty good overall, but definitely not Novelette level or anything now. Now let's talk about Kenich, but first let me remind you that if you enjoy my channel but you haven't subbed yet, please consider doing so because it really makes me notice your support. So, Kenich's changes were definitely much simpler compared to Mulaney's. Just to contextualize his gameplay, through his elemental skill, Kenich basically locks into an opponent with a hook and starts spinning around him. During these sequences, he will be able to attack the opponent in 2 different ways. Some small shots that deal a bit of damage and some
Does Mona C1 even work? Yes. The parts of it that are not the freeze part actually do work, yes.
Cannon-like shots that can only be unleashed after he fills a point bar. The bar gets points in multiple ways. In particular, if the opponent is hit by burning or burgeon elemental reactions, it will gain a lot, and this makes Kenich a carry mostly for those types of teams only. With the latest update, his weaker hits received a small nerf, while his cannon hits got amped quite a bit. Overall, it's a net damage increase for a character that was already looking decent in terms of numbers and is now getting even better. Teams-wise though, I wouldn't wouldn't say this change makes a very impactful difference because it's just a slight numbers rebalancing, like it's not that impactful. After my first Kinich video, a lot of people in the comments were worried that he might go out of Bennett's circle during his spinning motion and of course lose the buffs that way. But honestly, from what I've seen from him gameplay wise, it's not really a problem, and even if he happens to go out of the Bennett circle for like a split second or something, since Bennett's buffs linger on the character for 2 seconds, he will be able to keep the buffs while going out for a bit, and overall he will be able to keep them rather consistently. The thing that worries me more though is that, as I said in the past, he seems to be very single target oriented. It really looks like none of his hits has that much range, and generally his main ones will only hit one opponent unless there are multiple ones glued in one spot. It's a shame really, because while his numbers look good, they don't look good enough that is this super exceptional single target damage dealer, so the fact that his AoE is poor is definitely concerning in my opinion. Overall, I would say that since a few weeks have passed already, Hoyoverse has a pretty clear idea of what these characters are going to be by now. I find it funny because in the first Mulani video I said that I was happy that they were one-upping the characters in terms of damage output, like making the damage ceiling bigger, because the opposite kind of makes the meta stale in my opinion, but now it's not looking like that anymore. Now both Mulani and Kinich definitely look more interesting.
Just play Burgeon Kinich and you have AoE? That's half true. I think you're forgetting that I mean, look at this, right? This is the damage distribution with these assumptions of a Kinich Burgeon team. So only 30% of the team's DPS is actually AoE. Your Hydro application isn't AoE. The reality is that we don't have Hydro characters that are good enough at applying Hydro that they would be strong in teams like this. The main issue is that outside of Singto, there's no real Hydro character that applies Hydro fast enough in AoE so that they would both remove the Burning Aura and reliably get a good amount of Burgeons. Which means that in order to actually get reliable Burgeon uptime, or reliable Burgeon procs, you would need to either have 2 AoE Hydro characters, or 1 AoE Hydro character and something like a Cryo character to weaken the Burning Aura. Curry wouldn't work too well because you're on-fielding Kinich, not a Pyro character, which means that you're not actually getting reliable Fischl A4 procs. Which means your Electro application is relatively slow. It would work, but only on 1 target and not that well. So I don't see it being that good. Oven, I think, would work better. But then you're confronted with the fact that what sort of character would you want to run in an Oven team with Kinich? Like, none of the characters have real synergy with the team. You can play something like Ganyu or Rosario or even Kea if you manage to stay close enough to the enemies, but like, what's the upside? What do you gain from them outside of just being able to trigger more Burgeons? And the reality is that without external attack buffs, those characters just don't do much damage. And they don't provide any actual buffs to the team either. Which makes it so that you end up with just kind of a ragtag team that just doesn't do too well. Like, it'll work, but effectively what you're missing is, like, Diona but good. Right? A character that provides value to burden teams and reliable cryo application. The problem with Diona is that her EM buff is only to the active character, which means that in a team like this, it's pretty fucking useless. And her application is really bad because she has ICD on her ult. She has standard ICD on her ult. And then on top of that, what Hydro character are you even using? Maybe you use Farina, I guess. But then again, right, Farina's AoE isn't even that good. I could definitely see something like Knight, Toma, Charlotte, Farina being a viable Knight team. But I don't think it's that good. I think it's going to be alright. Ayato burst build, that could work as well, but the problem is that Ayato just doesn't do anything outside of his burst. Alright, he has incredibly high ER requirements to the point where you might have to adapt a rotation to battery him. And he does pretty much 0 damage with only his ult and doesn't provide any actual buffs. So he's really not doing much. Right, he's only there for the application, and his application isn't even that good. It's definitely something that can work, but it's also important to acknowledge that the fact that it is a functional synergy doesn't mean that the team will necessarily be good. He gives a normal attack buff. Kanicha's damage is elemental skill damage, not normal attack. Considered elemental skill damage. Aware. Sometimes I hope I understand how my experience of Ayato's performance differs from his current accepted power level. What do you mean by that? Do you mean that you're having success with Ayato despite him being considered a relatively weak character? Yes, what teams are you playing him in? Soup? Yeah, that's fair. The reason why people think Ayato is a weak character isn't because he doesn't have a single team where he performs fine. It's because he has a lot of teams where he performs fine and no teams where he performs outstandingly. Right? He's not outstanding anywhere. But he's completely fine in a lot of different teams. Right? The reason why you don't experience Ayato feeling bad is because Ayato's still a reasonable character. He's still completely alright. He's just also outclassed by other characters in pretty much every team. But, like, generally, 90% of a very good team is still a good team. And so you're still going to be completely fine playing Ayato teams if you have them invested. personally, I don't really know what I think about Ayato anymore overall. I really don't like how Neuvillette changed my perception of Ayato. But it's not his fault. Like, it's not Ayato's fault, it's Neuvillette's fault, right? It's one of those things where, like, pretty much every team where Ayato's good, Neuvillette is better. And because they're both Hydro characters that have on-field presence, almost every team where you can play Ayato, you can also play Neuvillette. I think the reality is that the one biggest difference between Ayato and Neuvillette is how good they are in teams that focus on their damage, right? And the reality is that Ayato's damage is just really low compared to other characters. Right? He has a power budget that is actually reasonable. And the fact that he has good application, good off-field, good AoE, like, these things are traded for lower damage. Right? Whereas in Neuvillette's case, it's kind of just not. What teams would you recommend for Ayato? It depends. I think, in general, the only teams where Ayato will feel like he's performing better than alternatives are teams where you're taking advantage of his burst. Because his burst off-field application is actually pretty good. And teams that take advantage of his burst for Hydro application, that's something that Neuvillette can't do. So he's gonna feel like he's doing something that other characters maybe can't. In every team where you're not taking advantage of his burst, he's just gonna feel like a worse Neuvillette. So generally, if what you want is for him to feel like he's standing out and doing something other characters wouldn't be as good at, I'd consider playing him in like a Nilo team or a Hyperbloom team. If you want him to do good damage, play him in like a Farina team, maybe. Farina VV team. But yeah. Just don't have your expectations too high in a team like that.
It really looks like none of his hits has that much range, and generally his main ones will only hit one opponent unless there are multiple ones glued in one spot. It's a shame really, because while his numbers look good, they don't look good enough that is this super exceptional single target damage dealer, so the fact that is kind of makes the meta stale in my opinion, but now it's not looking like that anymore. Now both Mulaney and Kinich definitely look more interesting because of their unique gameplay rather than how they can raise the standards of the meta. Of course, this is all based on my calculations and estimations, but it's just what I genuinely think, I guess. And I'm done for today. If
I wanted to play C6 main DPS Mona, what's my best in slot team? I'm actually not sure. I haven't looked at Mona C6 gameplay, I think, at all, ever. I don't know how her stuff lines up with the C6 procs. I'm sorry, you'd have to ask someone else. Yeah, this gives me ER, so I should do it. Even if it's kind of a pain in the ass. Oh wait, I don't have the... Oh, I'm gonna need Whopper flowers. Fuck. Okay. Let's farm some Whopper flowers. He's leveling Mona. I'm probably not gonna level her, but I will ascend her.
No one's joined.
Buy him from the shop? No, I don't have the currency.
Gather. What with nature?
Great start. Amazing start. Love it.
Wind strategy. Laid bare. Yeah.
Did I finish Imaginarium Theater yet? No, I haven't done it yet. I don't think I'll do it today. I think I'll do it tomorrow. Why isn't he waiting for level 100 enemies? Are level 100 enemies going to appear before these enemies respawn from being killed?
Solidify.
Transfixed.
Why am I unable to get in the mood to play ZZZ? Because you don't like it that much. Pretty straightforward. If you don't feel like playing a game, it's probably because... If you feel like you're unable to get in the mood to play a game, it's probably because you don't love that game too much. And that's okay. Did you get to level 45 in ZZZ yet? No, I haven't played in like a week. I'm still like level 43 or 44. I'm not entirely sure which one.
Gather. Laid bare.
Okay, your business. Chat, remind me to do an Oceanid once tomorrow. So I can ascend my Mona. Once? Well, I mean once or twice. It depends if I get 3 or 2.
Stabilize.
We'll have to see. Thanks. What are you gonna use Mona for anyways? Mona Milani teams seem interesting. But your requirements in those teams is gonna be very high, so getting my last ascension on Mona is probably gonna help a lot.
Laid bare.
Ooh, we got a blue. Hoggies. Would you play any horror game on stream? I mean, maybe. I don't really like horror games, though.
Gather.
Transfixed.
Time to go.
Lethal Company with mods when? I don't really like Lethal Company too much. It was fun for the first, like...
Stabilize.
2 or 3 hours of gameplay, I guess? But it's not the sort of game that I tend to enjoy long term. It's a fun game to play once, basically.
Gather. The wind knows me. Falling leaves adorn my night.
Teamwork is trick.
Stabilize.
Oh. Oh. I got wallflower materials out of doing a ley line I wasn't supposed to do. Oh. Yeah, like, Lethal Company is the kind of game that, like... It's kind of like a novelty board game.
Gather.
Laid bare.
It's fun once. But every time you play after the first time, it gets less fun. And you're kind of just tainting your own experience and diluting it and making you remember the game less fondly.
Solidify.
I do. We've been watching the Olympics? Not really, no. I've heard about some of the things that happened at the Olympics, but haven't actually watched any of it. Okay. Have you seen the Turkish guy with the gun? No, but I've seen the lady with the glasses / goggles, whatever, and the gun. Have you ever tried D&D? No. The barrier of entry to D&D feels very big. also feel like I'm not really the right person for role-playing. I feel like I'd be a really annoying player, you know? Yeah, exactly. Right, because, like, I feel like if I did play D&D, I'd be the kind of player that has fun by getting on the DM's nerves. And I feel like a lot of DMs wouldn't actually like that. Yeah, so yeah, pretty much. Like, I know some DMs enjoy that, and some don't. But, like, I don't know if I'd be able to have too much fun if I'm not doing that. And as such, I don't really want to get into it. Just roleplay as a guy who wouldn't do that tomfoolery. I don't think you understand. There is no such thing. Because in-universe tomfoolery is not the same as player tomfoolery. You can very much do player tomfoolery by doing in-universe seriousness and strictness.
Off we go.
And I feel like it's too appealing. I wouldn't be able to resist, you know?
Off we go.
But, like, I also wouldn't want to be playing with people that aren't having a good time.
Adventure time.
My DM would hate you. Yeah, and, like, that's why, like, I don't actually want the other person to have a bad time. I would just want to be I would just want to do some tomfoolery and have the tomfoolery be, like, actually fun for everyone, you know?
Adventure time.
But yeah, I don't know. I also don't think I'm a particularly original person, and I don't have a lot of creativity. So I feel like I would be more of a burden than anything else in, like, role-playing situations. And I'd just bring the morale of the group down. And then on top of that, I've never played D&D before, so on top of not being funny and being annoying, people would also have to help me understand the rules. And, like, all of those things together, it's like, yeah, I don't think I'd be able to have a good time, you know? You know? Yeah. Anyways, have you played Baldur's Gate 3? I've played a little bit. What the fuck? Have I never taken this chest? Wait, what? Wait, I kinda wanna leave it there now. Wait, what? They re-added it? Chest respawn? Pog? Is the one you find Devalin's tier and it respawns after the first adventure quest? Oh. Place a marker on the map. Okay.
Off we go.
Yeah, I played a little bit of D&D, not D&D, I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3, but... The main thing about stuff like that is... I don't know if... I don't really enjoy it enough to play it off stream. And very often playing games on stream, especially with the games that are not your main game when you're a like dedicated creator for a specific game, it hurts your growth. Like, I don't know, man. It's like... I really don't play too many games off stream. I pretty much... These days, I pretty much only play Slay the Spire off stream. So, like, I don't know. No Balatro? Balatro's fun, but I feel like it doesn't have the same kind of progression that Slay the Spire does. In the sense that once you beat Gold Stake with one deck, it doesn't feel like beating Gold Stake with the other decks is going to be a different experience. It feels like you're just doing the same thing over and over again, and it's just tedious rather than being different. Right? Yeah, like the different decks don't feel like they have different gameplay. And so it makes it feel like grinding for Gold Stake for every deck just doesn't matter. Whereas grinding Ascension 20 on every character in Slay the Spire is actually fun because different characters play differently, so you have to relearn the whole game when you're playing a new character. So like once I beat Gold Stake on one deck in Balatro, I was kind of like, well, I'm kind of done. I still play it every once in a while, but not very often.
Off we go.
But yeah, I also think when it comes to Baldur's Gate, my first like 2.5 hours of Baldur's Gate is probably the most fun I could have ever had in that game. I don't think there is even a remote possibility that I ever have more fun at any point in Baldur's Gate than I did in the first 2.5 hours with the door play. And it's like, do I really want to play the game more? And end up being like, yeah, this is a whatever game? Or do I want to keep that as my perception of Baldur's Gate? Like, it's all downhill from there, you know? Like, the character creation was really fun, and the door play was, like, really, really fun. I had no idea what I was doing. I was really scared. I was sure I wasn't gonna get out of it, and then we just barely pulled through. And, like, I know, the more I understand the game, the less stuff like that is going to be satisfying, right? what made that experience so fun is that I had no idea if the things I wanted to try were doable. I had no idea if closing the door was gonna do anything. I tried it because I felt like I was out of options, and it worked out, you know? And that's why it was fun, because I had no idea what I could do and what could work. But the more I would play the game, the more I would have an idea, and I feel like the fun would just go down and down with time. And like, looking at it that way, I kind of want to keep that first experience as what I think when I think of Baldur's Gate. So it was a short experience, but it was really fun.
Adventure time.
Anyways.
Yeah. Right. Off we go. Yeah.
Thoughts on Mr. Beast pushing illegal lotteries to kids? I don't know about that, so I don't really have thoughts.
Adventure time.
When the game introduced more stuff, you didn't really know how to interact. He's like, you should give it a shot to see if it really gets held. I mean, I played another time after the door thing, and it was so much less fun. It was really boring, actually. Alright, I played for another, like, 3 hours afterwards, and it was just so fucking veg. Ugh. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for today. Tomorrow we can do the banner review. If that sounds fun for you guys. We'll gauge business. Let's raid Bran. He's apparently doing a fundraiser right now. Fundraising for the National Association of Voice Actors Foundation. Alright, go say hi, and I'll see you guys around. Bye-bye.